Hey guys, today I'm gonna roast the Unify GDM landing page. AI GDM is like a impressive new niche that companies are entering into. We have key players like Clay, Default, Unify being one of them, and there's a whole market segment of AI agents, especially in the GTM space. And so Unify's landing page is something to take a look at here and see how they are going about their messaging, how they are targeting prospects, their customers, and what is it that they're trying to say on their landing page, and how likely is it for customers to convert on their landing page. All right, let's get in. First things first, let's look at the hero section here, and you can see that the headline is dynamic in nature. It changes from the future of AI and sales, go to market, warm outbound, pipeline. So it's an entire GTM stack, and that GTM stack is essentially being unbundled here with all these different dynamic variables that changes. From a design perspective, it does feel a little catchy. It grabs the user's attention. But from a value proposition standpoint, if I'm a user and I come onto the page for the first time, there likely exists a possibility that I am a little overwhelmed because the messaging is not concise. It's showing too much information at once. And what I want is a simple one-liner, concise value proposition statement that I can take back and show it, try it out, and maybe if I like it, show it to my boss, to my colleagues and whatnot. So I feel like the headline here could be made a little better, to be made more concise. That's the first point. The second part, if you look at the subheadline, it says drive pipeline with 25 plus intent signals and AI agents. Scale prospecting, personalization, and engagement in one unified workflow. All right. So if we look at the subheadline here, you can see that it's very value focused. It tells me exactly what I can do with Unify. I can drive my pipeline with 25 plus intent signals and AI agents. So I already know that there's AI agents within the loop, and there's 25 intent signals that's going to help me fill up my pipeline. If I am in outbound sales, if I am in inbounds, or I am a GTM engineer at any software tech company, then my KPIs are directly tied to driving pipeline. And I know for a fact now, just from this first line, that Unify can help me drive that pipeline, which is very, very important. The next sentence drives that further up. It says scale the prospecting, personalization, and engagement in one unified workflow. One of the key things while you're doing outbound, while you're doing inbound, is to personalize, prospect, and engage your leads in one place. Usually, there's all these things are fragmented across different tools. You have these point-to-point solutions, like you would do prospecting in Hey Reach or something, then you would do outbound in Apollo, or you would send your emails via Instantly. And you have all these different siloed up tools that you're using to scale your GTM motion. But the problem with that is that it's not really scalable because the data is not in one place. It's in different places. So you would essentially have to have some kind of a unified platform to make sense of all this data that's coming in, which is where Unify comes in. That one unified workflow is the value proposition of Unify, right? And then the CTA is what's your work email and get started. There's the simple CTA, enter your work email, get started. Nothing too complicated here. set up Unify in minutes. Now let's see if we can improve this just a tad. All right. So I think the first thing that can be done here is maybe add a couple of, maybe not a couple, 3 concise bullet points of the core features that the most successful users use Unify for across prospecting, across personalization, and across user engagement. So 3 concise bullet points right beneath the subheader just to drive home the features that correspond to these workflows and outcomes that the users care about the most. This will remove any modicum of doubt that could exist in the user's mind about what Unify as a platform could do for them, and it would just reduce and it would increase the probability that they would come in and enter their work email. Now, if we take a step further, we can reduce friction even more. What we can do is we can add a customer quote right beneath the call to action. Something like replacing the setup Unify in minutes and replacing that with something like a customer quote from a company that reduced their inbound prospecting or their personalization or their GTM motion by 25%. Something that is so value focused that the user feels like, oh my God, I have to try it out. And that makes for a killer hero section. The demo section on the right is fantastic. You can see that it kind of highlights when I hover over it. Got a great design, great aesthetic. And you can see that it has a workflow, a flowchart kind of a product interface. So it essentially shows the user that what does the product look like, which is fantastic. Exactly what they should be doing. And then you have all these world-class companies coming in, showing their logo dropping who uses Unify. You have companies like Cursor, Together AI, Perplexity, High Touch, TeamBridge, Speechify, OpenPhone, all these world-class companies coming in and using Unify. Fantastic. Then it's time for the value proposition section, an end-to-end solution for automated outbound. All right. So what does it mean when a company says something like it's an end-to-end solution for automated outbound? The first thing the user feels, it's the meaning behind the word end-to-end. It's like it can do everything in one place. It takes care of everything that I could essentially care about with relation to my workflows, in relation to the job that I'm doing. And so they have these 4 bullet points that kind of drive home the point of how it is an end-to-end solution. Growth, marketing, RevOps, and sales. These are the 4 use cases that find the most value in Unify. These form part of the end-to-end solution for the automated outbound, right? Each of these sections go to a separate landing page, which caters to their specific pain points, caters to their specific outcomes and jobs to be done, which is how it should be. And the designs are super aesthetic, very easy to look at. It's not overwhelming at all. It's very minimalistic, and it just gives off a nice professional aesthetic vibe. The platform for pipeline generation. So this is another core value proposition of Unify, which says that this is, if you are curious or if you are interested in boosting up your pipeline, because let's face it, who doesn't? Then you want Unify in your tech stack, right? And then it explains how the pipeline generation outcome actually works. Users can run their entire workflow with AI agents and automation. So the entire process is automated. It's with AI agents and workflows. signals. So it then brings that down and it explains how this works. How does this pipeline generation feature or this pipeline generation outcome actually function? The signals. You act on buyers at the right time. So uses 25 plus signals to identify when prospects are ready to buy. Buying intent, right? This is very important. So you are hitting the prospects at the right time, just when they're ready to buy. That's very important. Build and run these automated plays. So you have these workflows that you can run, and you have a canvas where you can come in and design these custom-made workflows that is relevant to your team and your specific outcomes. So another section called plays. Each of these features have a separate features landing page that shows the particular outcome and the jobs to be done for that specific page, which if they're running ads against, then that particular feature page is what they would be running ads against. So for example, Ironclad, a legal tech AI company, has a contract redlining feature. Now they run ads against that particular contract redlining feature and the corresponding contract redlining feature page. So if in the future Unify were to scale with ads, be it Meta ads or YouTube ads, and then one of the plays that they could run here is to run ads against a specific feature. And they would direct their traffic essentially to that feature specific landing page. So a great move here. Then there's sequences, natively engage buyers at scale. So multi-touch sequences, again, a no-brainer, a must-have feature. If you're doing outbound, you need to set up all these triggers and workflows that on day 1, I'm sending this out. On day 4, this goes out. Day 10, this goes out. So all of these workflows are already in place that the users can then come in and design their workflows in a very specific manner based on the outcomes that they care about. AI agents built to prospect. So this prospecting part, I reckon this should have come a bit earlier because they were always starting with personalization, with prospecting, personalization, and engagement. So I feel like this could have come earlier, but essentially it shows off the agents feature. And end-to-end reporting analytics. This can seem a little overwhelming at times because it's like you have to scroll down. I'm like, okay, what else is there? Okay, does it ever end? Or how much more is there? Like these things can go on inside the user's mind. So I feel if there's a better way to present these features without overwhelming the users, maybe that can happen in a horizontal format where it takes less real estate. So something like you have the signals here, you have the prospecting here, you have these separate tabs horizontally. And when you click on this, then it expands into the text as well as the feature along with a customer quote that shows how they used this specific feature to achieve a specific outcome, reducing further friction on the side of the user to actually sign up. And each of the buttons, like this card, can have not only just one CTA, but also another CTA for them to try out this feature. Rather than just see feature, they can also be prompted to sign up for the product. So there can be 2 CTAs, one primary CTA and one secondary CTA. So that would be a great way for them to show the value of the specific feature and then replace this with a GIF of how the feature works rather than a screenshot, because it's very limiting in a way. But if you show a feature, then it becomes much more enticing, much more engaging, and they can kind of play around with it. And if you have a secondary CTA of them having to actually sign up, then it boosts your conversion rates, right? So this could be something that could be a potential improvement that could be made on this landing page. Then you have customer testimonials. Again, this can be a separate section, which is great, but I would rather have each customer testimonial correspond to the particular value proposition, to the corresponding feature that shows how that particular feature or that specific workflow helped them achieve a specific outcome. And then show that in that particular feature section, which is in far more context than just a testimonial section, because everybody does this. It helps to stand out and do things that others aren't quite doing, which I feel could be a unique differentiator for Unify here. Connect with hundreds of buyers when it matters, instead of hundreds of high growth companies like JustWorks together power their go-to-market. So again, here the final call to action could be made a little bit better. By that I mean, the headline is fine, but again, here they could have like a bullet list, just recapitulating what the features are, just to remind the users what they can do with it, which is like AI agents, the prospecting that happens, the timely nudges that happen, the workflow automation, all of those stuff, right? In like 3 bullet points, along with a customer quote from someone at Perplexity, for example, saying that, hey, I used Unify GTM to achieve XYZ outcome for Perplexity, which increased revenue by Y%. And then you do that, and then you have that call to action that reduces friction by a significant degree. So just these little tweaks, can make a massive difference. It's not rocket science here. You just have to get inside the mind of the buyer and see what they are seeing. What are they perceiving? What are they thinking about? And then you reverse engineer how their minds are working. And then you show that process, what they're expecting to see on the screen, on the landing page. So this is the audit for Unify GTM. And I hope you found this useful. I hope you found it interesting, something to maybe apply it on your own landing pages. And I would love to hear back if you find it useful. And yeah, I will see you soon with another landing page audit for a SaaS company. And I will see you then. All right. Take care. Bye. Cheers.